Good morning, America.
Feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game, looking down at the rafters. I had to sun these boys, can't leave them bastards. A lot of dudes, just some undercover actors. I don't fall for it, I'm privy to all your tactics. Yeah, so try again.
Well, at least it's morning here right now. I don't know when you guys are watching this. Probably laying in bed at midnight, just look at Scott and Taylor. Living the dream, living the American dream, the new American dream.
Absolutely, dude.
Who do we got here for the people that don't know?
What's up, everybody? Scott Barger. I'm a firefighter from the Bay Area, and I do online fitness coaching. Been hanging out with Taylor for the last year or so, and yeah, man, it's been amazing. We just had Taylor's Mastermind event yesterday. Got a bunch of heavy hitters in the same room and shared some experiences and stories that will definitely put a lot of perspective in life. So, thanks again for having me, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
Absolutely.
That was a doozy.
Yeah.
I was not sure how the event was gonna go, given that it was the first one. Just organizational stuff, and then how comfortable people were gonna be with each other and stuff like that. I know that you were busy with your wife on vacation the first day.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you go to see?
30 Seconds to Mars, amazing show.
Badass.
Absolutely, yeah.
As soon as I dropped the first video about it, he hits me up and he goes, "Shoot, what are the dates?" And I told him, he goes, "Damn it." He's like, "I won't be able to make Saturday, but Sunday I'm definitely going to be there." So you were there for breakfast. And honestly, bro, I'm going to say you were there for the most impactful part of the entire weekend. Because after we broke down, and I mean, honestly, it was perfect for you too, because we broke down the entire business blueprint and got a lot of questions answered about fitness coaching and kind of where it's at and how it's evolved.
Yeah.
But we had, 15 guys, 10, 15, I don't even remember the head count exactly, share their story, their backstory, and a lot of them, their absolute rise to greatness. And I mean, dude, I almost cried for every single one, straight up. Not even afraid to admit it.
I was kind of taken back, to be honest with you. Like I said, perspective, and it's wild to me because, you know, we all kind of sell ourselves a personal story, you know, and that's kind of the direction some people go now, especially with, like, I don't want to say victim mentality, but we all had it hard. You know, we all want to be relatable by having some type of struggle or hardship that we grew up with, and that kind of brings us all together, you know. But damn, dude, I thought mine was rough, bro. It was so impressive what people can actually come back from.
Dude,
from the absolute, like, dirt of the earth, bro, to levels that you never thought possible, man.
Dude, we're talking about born homeless. We're talking about, like, seeing your brother get ripped in half by a drunk driver right in front of you, to, like, seeing someone die in your arms, basically, being brought back to life, like, which is going to be a perfect segue into your story. But really quick, just the willingness of those men to get up there and shed tears, and share those stories, and then attribute it to faith in God, self-development, getting around the right people. Like, because a lot of people look at what we do and they're like, scammers. It's a big scam. It's snake oil. It's fluff. They're just trying to fluff you up. They just want to get your money, blah, blah, blah. I had clients in that room. One of them, and this is not to pump me up, this is just to talk about the importance of self-development, getting the right plan to follow for your life, and getting around the right people. He said, "Without you, bro, I would probably be dead."
2 years.
And I was thinking about it yesterday and this morning, and I'm like, straight up, dude, I can't take any credit for that. That is all God. That is all the Lord. And if that's how he's working through me, great. But I can't take credit for saving anybody's life. All I do is I trust in him, and I try to just show people the way. I do show people the way. Whether they choose to follow it or not is on them. But those men in that room followed it, the ones that I've worked with personally, and they've come back from some stuff.
Yeah. And I think to kind of add on to that, man, is I think a lot of people think online fitness coaching, you know, with people who think it's a scam, right? They think, oh, just, you know, give me money and, you know, you'll get a workout program and a meal plan. Okay, yes, that is the yes. You're getting that. Okay,
I'll tell you that straight up.
Yes. Okay, we've established that.
Yeah.
But it's everything else that you get from that, right? You get around a community of people that are actively working towards a similar goal, and that is invaluable. That is why places like the fire service are so desirable, is because you get a brotherhood and a sisterhood and a camaraderie of people, and you can go so much farther. I love the line, right? You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together.
100%.
It's that simple. So,
or it takes a village.
yes,
There's so many phrases that go along with that, but go on.
and it's the transformation and the mindset that you get from that allows you to be a better person, to serve for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, for your children, at your job. Maybe that's what it takes for you to take a look at yourself and go, you know what? I've been selling myself short, and I need more, and I want more.
Yes.
And that's all part of a program. It's the overall transformation of a person, not just. If you want a meal plan and a workout program, go on to ChatGPT and type in, build me a workout program and a meal plan.
Yep.
But if you have commitment issues, if you have accountability problems, like, good luck doing it on your own. And that's why you have a group of people around you to keep yourself accountable.
If all you needed was a training plan and a meal plan, you'd be ripped and shredded and have a great mindset.
Exactly.
Like, people are like, all they're going to give you is this. And it's like we said, yeah, that's part of it. But if that's all that it took, then everybody would be jacked and shredded.
Yeah.
That's the accountability and the community are the most important parts of the program, which is why I say the guys that are in my weekly group coaching call on Zoom are the guys that I post their transformations.
Yep.
Not because, oh, this guy actually shows up, I'm going to post them. No, because they're the ones that are getting the transformations.
Yeah.
Because the dudes that aren't at least reviewing the recordings of the meeting or actively participating in the meeting are missing out on the biggest part of the entire program.
Right.
Occasionally, I'm not going to say occasionally they'll get results, because a lot of them will get results, physical results, if they stick to it. But they're missing the accountability piece big time. They're missing the community piece big time. And like they say, get in the right room.
Yep.
If they're not in the room, they're not going to hear about the success of others. They're not going to be able to encourage others, share their own story, get really tailored recommendations, face-to-face interactions, all the stuff. So the majority of my clients that make the absolute best transformations are on those calls on a weekly basis without fail. And that's where it comes from.
And to be honest with you too, man, like, public speaking and putting yourself out there is a big deal for people. And to be able to do that and share conviction and struggle with a group of people that have a similar goal, I mean, you're going to become a better person just because of that alone. Like, put the meal plan, the workouts, everything aside, just the growth as, you know, a functioning person of society.
Human being.
Yes, a human,
Yeah.
really. I mean, but I do think, to that point, man, I just got back from Disneyland. We went all day Thursday. It was awesome, amazing. But my goodness, people, unbelievable. I mean, the obesity and the rate of obesity that I saw there, I'm not kidding you, I saw 3 people. 3 people with veins in their bicep, big arms, built.
Sick. Okay.
And when they were walking through the food court, everybody,
Yeah.
like, it's become the new norm to be overweight. And I don't necessarily fully blame people. I think we have a serious issue with nutrition, with the type of food that we're providing people, and the quick and easy access, right? It's the convenience. It's the convenience. Oh, I'm just going to grab something real quick, you know, and those compound over time, and it bleeds into every aspect of life. It leads to laziness. It leads to slacking off at your job. It leads to not showing up for your family. Like, I love that quote of, like, oh, I'd die for my kids, bro. I'd die for my family members. It's like, okay, well, would you live for them?
Nope. Not most of the time.
Nope.
I went to Disneyland 3 times this year. Disneyland, California Adventure. And I made a video about it. I was, like, blown away. I was like, the amount of obesity and, like, scooters and oxygen tanks and stuff that I see here is staggering. And you know what? I had a guy hit me up. He's like, bro, I was at Disneyland the same day as you. I saw that video that you posted calling people out. And he's like, I'm that guy. And he's like, as soon as I saw that video, my stomach hurt. He's like, when I went to Disneyland, I was supposed to get the scooter that day. But I was like, you know what? No, I can't do that. I have to walk. And he's like, so I put in 20,000 steps. But you know what he did? He signed up for my program that day from that video.
I love it.
Everyone's like, oh, you're going to hate on fat people. Because they hate being fat.
Yeah.
But until they hear that message, they're not going to change. Because it goes back to what you were talking about the victim mentality of the story that people tell themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They say, it's my thyroid, it's my PCOS, it's my hormones, it's my genes, I've always been big boned, blah, blah, blah. It's a lack of education, it's a lack of accountability, and it's too much niceness.
Yep.
Everybody wants to be nice. There's a difference between kindness and niceness, and everybody wants to be nice, and there's no accountability there. And so people are like, yep, it just is what it is.
It's crazy to me that that is a potential prerequisite for getting a scooter at Disneyland is being morbidly overweight.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's gross, dude.
It is.
But you know what? There's literally full-on Instagram pages where these girls are 400 pounds, 500 pounds, and they're like, oh, this is a fat-friendly ride. You can't get on that one. Shame on Disneyland. You know, they should make the seatbelts twice as big or what. It's like, no, nobody needs to cater to you because you're the size of 3 people. That's not how it should be.
Nope. Yeah, honestly, man, that was a big wake-up call for me. Even my wife was like, holy shit, man, it's gotten bad. You know, since, because we haven't been to Disneyland in a handful of years, and I just don't remember it being that bad. Maybe I wasn't aware of it as much, but I just see more and more people getting bigger and bigger and bigger, oxygen tanks, wheelchairs. Like, I remember back in the day, right? Like, if your homie broke his leg or something, you're like, dude, you better go to Disneyland, bro. You're going to get in that wheelchair, first line in the ride. You know, like, oh, perfect, man. But now it's like, you're just doing mukbangs all day long, and then you get to go be the first person at the ride at Disneyland.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
Wild.
They get catered to. So this is going to be a good segue, though, because, yeah, Disneyland has a lot of fat people, but you're in the fire service. How about first responders that are overweight and obese? Because I've been seeing more of that lately, too.
This is going to upset some people, and I'm sorry, but...
Say it louder. Say it with your chest.
Yep. One of my old partners on the ambulance I used to work with quite a bit. We worked 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. and his go-to was a 7-Eleven XL, the big burritos that you'd get out of the freezer. You know, the big boys?
Gross, yeah.
Yeah. And then he would get a Rockstar fruit punch with like 60 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah, the real one?
The real one. Every single night. And he just had stains all over his uniform. He would always complain about his feet hurting, problems at home, always arguing with his wife. And just like, I think it started to kind of click for me at that moment. I'm like, this just bleeds over to every aspect of life. It bleeds all over the place, really.
It does, dude.
And going back to it, like, when we get on scene with the fire department, like, I see more and more overweight EMTs and paramedics than I've ever seen in my life. And yes, we deal with a ton of gnarly, horrific, nasty shit, stuff that people should never have to deal with or see. But on the opposite side, like, if you're letting the job affect you so much to where it's bleeding over into your mental state, which now you're masking with food, because that's what it is, right? Let's not lie to ourselves. That's what it is.
I didn't think about the psychological impact of what you guys see.
Absolutely.
And then people basically medicating with food.
Food and alcohol is a big one too. We have a ton of alcohol issues in the fire service and on the ambulance as well. And people self-medicate with all different types of things, right? But food and alcohol are the two things that give you instant gratification in the moment, but have the worst long-term effects out of anything else. So, you know, I put it this way too, man. Like, I never, ever wanted to be a liability at the fire department, ever. Because if my brothers have to drag me out of a building, I'm 200-ish pounds right now, or 200 pounds. With all my gear and everything on, we're talking potentially 300 plus.
Yeah.
And it's going to take, they say on average, if one firefighter goes down, it takes an average of 7 people to get them out.
Really?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
That's from moving them to point A to point
No
B.
pun intended.
Yeah, right. Moving them from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And then potentially guys having to rotate in, you know, because you never know how deep you are in a building. If you're in a Costco, I mean, that's a whole nother ball game, right? You're having to go all the way in. By the time you get to the person, you might have to mark them, come back out, and other people go in. So,
Oh wow.
you know, we have, you know, our SCBAs, you know, they're fitted and rated for a certain amount of time, and the heavier you are, the more oxygen you need,
Right.
and the faster you're going to burn your bottle out, and you become a liability. So if you're already 200-300 pounds, what does that say about you with your crew?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Are you a liability or are you an asset?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, man, but I see it way too much now. I see it way too much. Guys get on the job, then they get comfortable, they start packing on weight, they start drinking, and it's so obvious too, man. You know, and then they're arguing with their spouses on the phone, and it just seems like it's becoming too common of a theme, and it's got to stop, dude. It's got to stop, because we need to show up for the public. We need to be there for our brothers and our sisters, and we need to be there for ourselves. And if you really care about your family as much as you do say, then that should be your first priority, is getting your own shit dialed in and ready to go, so that you can serve everybody else in your life, including the public that you swore to protect and serve.
Bro, it's wild to me how many firefighters I've talked to and police officers I've talked to, and how many that I have on my program. Now I have some guys that are like breaking department records when they're doing their tests, where you guys got to like drag the mannequin and drag the hoses and do the pull-ups and the turnouts and stuff like that. But you have a lot of firefighters on my team, and I have a lot of police officers that have been on my team as well. And the alcohol and the overweight, out of shapeness of them, I was just astounded, because I'm like, dude, you're the first responder. Like, you're the first one showing up, fire, car wreck, emergency situation, criminal activity for cops and stuff like that. Like, you got to chase people. Like, you ain't chasing anybody.
No.
I don't want you showing up to my house in the middle of the night if I got some problems, you know what I mean? Or trying to pull me out of the car and you're huffing and puffing. Like, and a lot of it is cultural, and I'm talking like the culture of the fire department.
Yep.
And so I would get the younger guys that would want to get on my program, and they're like, shoot, man, but like when I'm at the station, I have to eat what they're eating. Like, I have to eat with them, or like I'm going to be outcast. Like, that's just not something that you do in firefighter culture. Like, you got to eat with your brothers, because I'm telling them to bring their meals. Yep. I'm like, who cares? Like, who cares if the chief's got a bigger mustache than you and you're not even allowed to grow one? Like, just handle it. And they were so scared to do it, or even the chiefs that wouldn't do it because of the dudes under them. And I'm asking what they're making, and it's like macaroni and cheese, and it's like all these like super high calorie foods. And I'm like, do you guys just not know, or do you not care? But then can you speak to the culture of we all eat together? I love that.
Yeah.
But if you're eating shit together,
yeah,
y'all are going to eat shit.
Yeah, man. So in the fire service, it's customary that we eat our meals together, at least dinner. You know, sometimes guys do their own thing for lunch most of the time.
Yeah.
But dinner is the dinner table and the kitchen table is a very sacred place in the fire department. And I think that's where a lot of issues get solved. You know, guys come in with issues from home, and we solve it together as a crew. We break down rough calls that we've seen. You know, we kind of open up, and that's kind of our little safe space, man. And yeah, dude, it's tough, because with that being said, guys really hold that to a high standard about eating together, and, you know, not being an outcast and eating something different and stuff. But you know, I've been doing this for a little while now, and how I've gotten around it is when I get to work in the morning, I go, hey, I got meals for this week. I'm good. I'm cooking. I go, oh, right on, dude. Cool. Yeah, young guy's gonna throw down for us. All good, right? So when we go to the store, I'll shop for exactly what is in my meal plan, and they're gonna eat it, right?
So you solved the problem by stepping up,
Mm-hmm.
not stepping down and going, I just have to eat what they eat.
Yep.
When
Nope.
they cook.
Nope. Because I know that what's going to happen, right, is these guys are going to eat the food. They're going to wake up feeling better. They're going to sleep better. They're going to be in a better mood. So it takes pressure off me as well. So
That's
for you
gangster,
younger
bro.
guys out there, dude, just step up. You should be cooking anyways. That's standard for the fire service. The firefighter should be handling the meals, cleaning the station, doing what needs to be done, right? Earning your stripes and respect. But if you're an engineer, you're a captain, chief, whatever, and you know you're struggling with weight loss, or you have your own journey or goals, like, you know, you're like, hey man, I'm gonna throw down, or just tell the firefighter, hey man, I'm on a, you know, kind of on a diet right now. It'd be cool if we do a protein, a carb, and a veggie, you know, and keep it clean. Can you try not to do a bunch of salt? Can you not do a bunch of barbecue sauce all over the chicken? You know, can we do things that, or hey man, can you just leave a couple pieces for me without any sauce on it?
Yeah.
I'm on a thing right now.
White rice instead of macaroni and cheese.
Everyone knows that, bro. You just say, hey, I'm doing a little thing right now. You know, no one needs to know your business. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think industry standard. Let's just say, as a man, you should be cooking.
Yeah.
Like, not just as a firefighter. I'm gonna talk to everybody. Like, as a man, you should be cooking, right? Yeah. Know your freaking macros. Know how many calories you're consuming in a day, because it's like having a budget for your finances. If you just spend money all the time without knowing what your in and out is, you're gonna overspend. If you're just eating food without thinking about what you're eating, you're inevitably gonna overeat. And so it's your responsibility as a man to lead your family and to lead your brothers and sisters in such a way that you know what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
Because everybody's running around overweight, they're over drinking, and everybody just says, oh, it's fine, like, because they don't want to pay attention to it. It's like people that don't check their bank account. They're the ones that are always broke.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a man, you should be prepping your meals, and that's something that I did in the construction industry forever. I remember getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, prepping my meals so that I could eat them fresh. I remember before that, I would stay up till 10, 11 o'clock at night, prepping trays of just baked chicken and broccoli and rice cooker full of rice, or a pot full of rice, or I was eating tuna and potatoes, and I was shoving, I tell guys that when I was wearing nail bags, I would have like baked potatoes wrapped in foil or burger patties in Ziplocs, and I'd put them in my nail bags when I was a framer or checking grade, or I'd put them in my orange vest.
Dude.
And I would take, because I wasn't by my truck or my lunchbox, and I would just take bites whenever I could.
Yeah.
And I was locked in that way. But for guys to be like, oh, I don't know how to cook, you freaking lame. Like, you know how badass it's going to be for your old lady, like when you can cook her, when you can whip up a sweet dinner?
It's just a cop-out.
Or like if she gets sick, like, you're like, what are you going to do for the kids? You're just going to feed them freaking chicken dinos or something like that?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Those are always a good backup, by the way. You gotta have it in the freezer if you have kids. But for the majority of it, dude, like we were talking about the education piece.
Yeah.
People don't freaking know. Like, figure it out and break those generational curses.
Yeah.
Like when we were talking to Billy yesterday, dude, and he was sharing his story, when I almost burst into tears when he said, Taylor, from being on your program, the changes that I've made in my life, in my faith, he got baptized. In business, he started a business. In my confidence, he sold a home for seed money to start a business, and the education that he had in fitness, so that he said, you broke generational curses for my family in every area, and my kids and grandkids are going to feel that. I was like, and in that moment, you know what I said to myself? I was like, damn it, Taylor. I was like, you have not taken this as seriously as you've needed to for the last couple of years. I take it seriously.
Yeah.
I'm always checking on my clients, getting them results, making sure that they're good. But that was so heavy and had so much weight that I was like, whoa. I didn't even realize that and that's the truth about what we do.
Well, and it kills me to hear that, man, because going back to the fire service, man, and even blue collar, right? So many dudes are hurting, man. So many dudes, you know, look, it's not normal to see what we see, and that's compounded over years and years and years and years, and it's just, at a certain point, like, your cup is going to get too full, and it's going to start spilling over. And I just wish I could educate people more on how good it feels to eat clean and to work out and to prioritize your health and wellness, and how that's going to translate in every aspect of life. Because I just see it too often where I've had friends that have, it's weird, right? They're my age, but they're complete full-blown alcoholics, yet in denial. They're packing on 20, 30, 40 pounds just from eating. And I know it's because of what they've seen and what they're dealing with and stressors at work. But I just so badly want to, like, physically force them into the gym and be like, do you see how good you feel? Like, I know you're tired and it sucks, but you're going to feel amazing after when you're done. Try eating clean for a couple days and like see what it does to your body, to your face, the redness, the swelling, everything goes down. You're not bloated. You feel good. You have more energy. Like, I just wish we could have a little bit more of an impact, because that's something I'm super passionate about, dude. I'm super passionate about my brothers and sisters, and I really hate to see it. And I don't like putting people on the spot either, because it is uncomfortable, but I think the best thing that somebody could ever tell me if I was fucking up is, hey, you're fucking up.
Just that. Yeah.
And I don't want to sugarcoat it either, you know, and I that people need a wake-up call, and I don't ever want it to be on a fire ground or off duty or some type of cardiac event, because I've seen it firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So what got you into the fire service?
Yeah, it's gonna be a heavy one. So kind of taking it way back, my mom was a single mom growing up, and you know, shout out to my stepdad for stepping up and being a real man, adopting me. But before that, my grandfather was a huge part of my life. He was my best friend, my mentor, a father figure to me. And he worked for Oakland Fire Department for 19 years. And he used to take me every Sunday. They would still meet for coffee, him and his old crew. And they would share war stories and just talk about the good old days and stuff. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. It just took a little time. And, you know, unfortunately, when I was 19 years old, my grandpa was supposed to have triple bypass and a pacemaker. And I was at his house, we were talking, and he was sharing how nervous he was with me and about it. And right then and there, he grabbed a pot and started throwing up into it. He set the pot down. He said, I really don't feel good. He grabbed his chest. He walked up the stairs into his back room, and I sat there, and I got goosebumps, and I knew something was wrong, man. And I followed him in. As soon as I turned the corner, he fell face first into the toilet and unconscious. I didn't know that at the time. I had no medical training at all. I hooked my arms under, I dragged him to the middle of the floor in the bedroom, and I called 911, and I just stood there and watched my entire world just lifeless. And I didn't know what to do, and it crushed me, man. It fucking crushed me. It was my everything. I was losing it right in front of my eyes. And fire department showed up. There was so little words spoken for how much action was done. Like, everybody had a role, everyone had a responsibility, everybody was respectful, quick, fast, and they got my grandfather back, dude, right in front of my eyes. And the captain stayed behind with me for about an hour until my mom got there, and he shook my hand and he said, I know you want to get in the fire service one day, and I want you to remember this, that we take care of our own. And I'll never forget that, man. You know, I got 4 more years with my grandfather because of that, and the professionalism and the camaraderie and how we take care of our own. I knew I wanted to be a part of that, man. And yeah, 3 weeks later, I was in EMT school and never looked back, dude. I got the greatest job in the world, bro, and I get to affect so many people every day, and it's a really, really, really cool job, dude. And I'm so thankful that I get to do it. And I got really passionate about it from the medical side too, because of what I saw my grandpa go through and what they did for him. And I became a paramedic, got into the fire department, and like I said, the rest is history. So, you know, my grandpa didn't live the healthiest lifestyle either, and that's why partially I'm so passionate about the fire service and about health and wellness, is because I see it every day, and it's a humbling reminder of how quick everything can be taken away.
Yeah. Dang, dude, what a story, man.
Yeah.
So he was a firefighter, and then you had that, I mean, crazy experience with him, but then seeing them come in, it was just like, God was like, bro, this is obviously your calling.
Yeah. So it's something that I don't take for granted one bit, dude. I love every second I'm at work, dude. I work with the coolest people. We have so much fun. We have such a dynamic job, man. I never wanted to sit behind a desk, dude. I dropped out of college, just couldn't focus, ADHD. I'm like, what a perfect job, dude. I get to run into people's houses when it's on fire with a hose full of water and spray it on fire, dude. Like, breaking the job down to the simplest form, right? That's what we get to do.
Yeah.
And people are having medical emergencies, and we're basically like, I mean, really, we're like field doctors. We're like, we stabilize people to get to the hospital for surgeries and cardiac events, and strokes, and septic patients, and traumas, and all the types of things I've seen, dude. It's such a dynamic, fun job, and every day is different, you know. And the brotherhood and the sisterhood that you get from it is unparalleled. There's nothing else like it. I can't explain it, man. Like we go through so many things together. We see so many things together, and I think we grow together because of that. And that's why I get so passionate about health and wellness, is because I want everyone around me, including myself, to, you know, not fall off, not turn to alcohol, not turn to food, not turn to some sort of vice. You know, like life is so beautiful, man. And our job, you know, we have a duty to uphold, and we're supposed to be a beaming light of, you know, what the public expects when they call 911. And if you get off the rig and you're fat and sloppy, out of shape, you got food stains on your shirt, I mean, what does that tell the public?
Yeah,
you know,
big time.
That's not when I was a kid. When I looked at firemen, all in shape, good-looking dudes, you know, that's what little kids want to look up to. They want to look up to superheroes. And when I was a kid, I don't know about you, but my top three, I want to be a baseball player, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a firefighter.
Yeah.
Like, that was it for me. And obviously, you know, I'm not going to the moon.
That's awesome. That sounds like my son, bro.
Yeah.
5 years old. Ever since he was like 3, bro. Firefighter, he calls it. And he's got, you saw his little outfit he's got, the helmets and stuff like that. But yeah, man, kids look up to that. But also, like, adults look up to that, you know.
They do.
Or they look to them for help, protection, response in emergency situations. And yeah, if you're gonna hop out of the truck looking like a slob, that ain't it, man.
No.
And I can see the passion that you have, and I fully understand, like, your passion for firefighting, right, from your backstory and what happened with your grandpa, like, as far as being able to help people, but then not seeing them, like you said, fall off and succumb to alcohol, because we know how good you can feel when you cut those vices and that just, like, YOLO living of just eating however you want to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like for us, especially as men, you know, you ever have a man cold? We get the flu, dude, we get a cold, and, like, you feel horrible. Yeah. And all you want is just to feel normal again. You want your head to feel normal, your stomach, your body aches. You don't want to be puking. You don't want to have a fever. And you're like, God, I just take normalcy so for granted. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's literally the life that they're living when they're turning to the food and the alcohol, being untrained, being overweight, being inflamed. Like you said, literally, if they just started taking care of themselves, tracking their macros, training, keeping a more positive mindset, they're going to feel normal again. Yeah. And it's going to be the same as, like, when you have a fever versus when you're normal. Yeah. But it's not obvious enough to them, so they don't realize, like, that's how good they're going to feel. And it bleeds over, like you said, into your marriage. Yeah. Like, I've had people's wives on my program hit me up and been like, thanks for fixing this guy. Yeah. He helps with the kids more. He cleans the house. He's more confident. He just makes decisions. He's cooking dinners, telling me to go chill, go take a shower, go take a bath.
So awesome.
Like, wives of dudes, and they're like, thank you. Yeah. I'm like, I just showed him the way. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Whooped his ass a little bit when he needed it, verbally.
And I think that kind of leads into the haters and the toxicity too, man. You know?
You get a lot of that, bro.
I do. I try to keep a positive mindset at all times, and, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into this, but especially at work, man, I've caught in a lot of shit, and I get it, right? Social media, putting yourself out there and stuff, you're going to be met with resistance anytime you go against the grain, right? Mm-hmm. And the grain is, you know, a lot of times unhealthy lifestyles. And
the grain is complacency.
Absolutely. And so when I kind of started this whole thing, I got met with a lot of sandpaper, if you will, of, hey, what are you doing, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, really, don't do this, man. Don't put yourself out there. You look like an idiot. You look stupid. And I'm like, to who? to my wife. You think my wife complains that I'm in shape and I take care of myself and that we live a healthy lifestyle and that I cook meals and I'm responsible and I act like a fucking adult and a man, a provider? Is that who I look stupid to? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Were you paying my fucking mortgage? Were you paying my bills? Like, no, you're not. So, you know, I just, it's crazy to me that when you go against the grain of like what's quote unquote normalcy in life, people that you'd never expect, man, come out of the woodworks, bro. And
or they leave.
Yeah.
They disappear. You lose them.
Well, if you stick to it long enough, they'll eventually fade away. And that's what I've noticed. But
and we're talking family.
Yeah.
We're talking close friends. Like the people closest to you tend to be the last to congratulate you.
Yeah.
And the first ones to into the darkness.
But what's funny at work, dude, is I've had people that I know were mouthing off about me and, you know, saying, you know, questioning what I'm doing and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, right, I'm trying to make people healthier. Right? I'm not a fucking influencer. I'm not doing it for social media clout. I got 3,600 followers on Instagram. Is that an influencer to you guys? So
Not yet, baby.
no. But with that being said, those same individuals, when it's just us in a room, oh yeah, man, you know, I've been doing this new keto diet. What do you think about it, dude? You mind taking a look at it for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say this, man. Like, if you guys have a goal or an idea or a business or something that you want to start, just do it. And know you're going to be met with resistance. Know it's not going to be easy. But the same people that are talking shit about you, more often than not, are the ones that are insecure about it. And like I just explained, they're the ones who are going to ask questions about it later on. Because first, everyone's going to laugh at you. Secondly, they're going to ask how you did it, and they're going to want some information, and, you know, you're going to be met with tons of congratulations. But along the journey, man, it's pretty fucking lonely. It's pretty lonely. And that's why you surround yourself with heavy hitters and get a group of people around you that are going to support you and push you and keep you accountable. And, you know, if you're going to start something, bro, go all in. Fucking go all in. You know? That people are going to talk regardless of what you do. Even if you woke up in the morning and you just laid in bed all fucking day long, people are still going to talk about you. You know what they're going to be saying? Man, that dude's fucking fat. Look at him. He's renting a wheelchair at Disneyland. That you're going to get talked about then. You want to be Mr. Olympia, you're going to get talked about. You want to start a business, you're going to get talked about. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's white noise. It's just forget it, dude. Just forget it.
Yeah, you can't please everybody, bro.
Yeah.
You could be broke, fat, lazy, you're going to get talked about. You could be broke, in shape, lazy, you're going to get talked about. You could be rich, fat, business owner, you could be talked about.
Yep.
Like, you could put any combination together and, like, you're not going to make everybody stoked, you know?
Yeah.
I got a lot of that working construction too. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, construction's probably one of the most negative industries that you could get into, right? Like, every single person, hey, good morning. I'm freaking here, you know? Like, how you doing? Well, let's just live in the dream, right? Taxes, the government, freaking commute, trap, like, all the stuff, right?
Oh, God.
Like, we're all living the same day, dude. It's the mindset that you choose to have about it. I'm over here saying this is the best day ever, and this dude's over here saying it's the worst day ever. But guess what? Like, we're looking at the same sun, the same clouds, we're feeling the same breeze. It's all about the mindset that you choose to have about it. And for me, like, instead of looking at, and I've talked about this, like when I was working in Rancho Santa Fe, a very affluent area of San Diego, and I would see the nice cars drive by because those people inevitably live in those neighborhoods. I was the one that was like, just breaking my neck. I'm like, that's so cool, bro. Look at that Rolls Royce, dude.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, look. And they're like spitting on the ground like, rich a-hole, F that guy. Like, what's he doing driving around at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday? Get a job. And it's like, he doesn't need a job. I'm like, you're the one sitting here holding a shovel that will never be in that guy's position because you're not setting yourself up to ever have the potential to do it. I'm like, dude, if that guy did it and he doesn't have to be holding a shovel like me at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, I got something to learn from that guy. So I'm not going to call him names. That's going to inspire me.
Yeah.
But it's that mindset that separates you from the majority of people, you know? And yeah, dude, I had guys, because I'm a talker, bro. I'm like, dude, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like, kind of sharing my dreams and aspirations.
I do the same shit, bro.
Yeah.
And like people are like, don't tell everyone your next move. I'm like, no, I want to put it out there so that people know, and then it holds me accountable too. Because if you can let yourself down, whatever. But if you let other people down, like, that speaks volume.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, put it out there. That's what I've said before. Put it out there on social media and let them hold you accountable, you know? But no, bro, like, oh, man, I can't even remember where I was going with that. But bottom line is you're going to get met with resistance because...
You're a talker and you're telling people at work, too. Like,
oh, yeah. So I was telling them, and so I just got crap. Like, dude, you're never going to do this. And then I'm like, dude, you can see my Stripe account right now, bro. You would trip balls, man. I just made more this week than you're going to make all month, you know?
Yep.
I never rubbed it in.
Nope.
I kept that part to myself for the most part.
People get weird, man.
Oh, yeah. But there was a foreman that I had. He's like, you're on your phone more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. What are you doing? I'm like, bro, check this out. Like, look at my Instagram. Like, I do this, like, fitness coaching. Look at this transformation, bro. And he's like, oh, my God, like, that's pretty cool. He's like, do you charge for that? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, well, I think you should be on your phone a little bit less. And I'm like, check out my Stripe account, bro. And he's like, damn, Mijo, what are you talking about? Are you serious? And he was so pumped that I knew this dude was cool. And I was like, yeah, bro, like, this is kind of like where I'm going. Like, I'm not going to be here forever. And he's like, bro, he told me, he's like, you can be on your phone as much as you want. I've got your back. And every morning before the meeting, he'd be like, hey, Mijo, how much did you make yesterday? show him the account. And he's all, damn. He's all, go get him, bro.
You know what, dude? Shout out to that guy. Because if it wasn't for that guy, you know, that's little things and people in your life, man, that can have a serious outcome for you, too. Because, like, that might have been all you needed to hear.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Because he could have just joined. He could have just jumped right in line. Fuck Taylor. You know, he's always on his phone. He thinks he's a...
Let's try to get rid of that guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. No, it was cool. It was cool, man. He was awesome. But that's the dude that I told. I'm like, dude, I think it's time. And I remember I told the story at the Mastermind on Saturday. We walked up to the edge of this big excavation. Neither one of us looked at each other. And he's like, yeah? I'm like, I think so. He's like, I'll make the decision. I'm like, man, what do you think? And he's like, if you weren't here, how much more time would you be able to put into your business? And I'm like, we're just breaking down the number of hours that I'm not commuting, that I'm not, you know. Because I was able to be on my phone some on the ground as a grade checker and stuff, but I mean, it was 8 hours a day between the commute and everything else. And he's like, so if you could put 40, 50 more hours a week into your business, would it grow? I was like, absolutely. And he's all, your call. I said, let's do it. He said, I'll go get the paperwork. And right there, he got the freaking, it was my 2-week notice. He got the paperwork. I filled it out. My wife and I think it was like a Thursday. I can't remember what day it was, but my wife and I were going out that Friday to a country concert. And I was working in Temecula, so she drove up, and she met me with the kids at the mall, and I took her shopping for the country concert. We got her a little dress and some boots, and I didn't say anything. And I'm like shaking, you know what I mean? And just like my stomach's hurting because I tell her everything immediately.
Well, it's the responsibility as a man, too. You're like, holy shit, I just stepped into a giant black hole, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of it or I'm just going to sink. Like, it's a scary feeling, man.
Oh, it was. So I took her out, kept it cool, didn't say anything, got her dress, her boots, the kids, brought them back home. As soon as we got home, I'm like, babe, I have something to tell you. And I told her, and she fell on the ground, and I'm so proud of her because her parents, dad retired from Boeing with a pension, right? Always had a job. Mom still has a job. And so there wasn't anybody like in her direct family that had been, because I'm unemployed, right? No one had been unemployed, business owner, whatever.
Right.
And she stayed so strong. She trusted me. And I just remember she was sitting on the couch afterwards and just staring off into the distance. I came up behind her, I grabbed her, I said, listen, babe, I will provide for this family no matter what. I'm just going to decide where it comes from. And from then on out, bro, the chart.
That's crazy, man. And worst case scenario, could you have gone back?
Superintendent came up to me, shook my hand. He said, man, anytime you need to come back. Both superintendents on 2 different jobs.
Yeah. So do you guys see now, like...
What's the worst that could happen? Or I just go work for another outfit.
Yeah.
Another grading outfit. Grading's always going to be there.
Yeah,
you just go back to being a freaking framer. The construction industry is always going to be there.
Yeah. And
Sometimes you just got to take the plunge.
absolutely, man. And now you have, it's not only 40 or 50 more hours that he has to invest into his business, but your family.
Dude, I was away from my kids for so much of their childhood. And there's a lot of guys that have been away from their kids a lot more, right? Working out of town, working into other states, whatever it is. But what I realize now, I get to make my own schedule. I choose to work from home. I could have an office or something like that where I worked at. Probably be more productive, truthfully, because my kids come into my office all day long. But
Blessing in disguise.
But I get to be there with them almost every waking moment of every single day.
Yep.
I can do school drop-offs. I can go to their swimming lessons. I can go to their dance lessons. Me and my wife, we can get after it at any time of day that we choose to. Like, bro, it's pretty dope.
Sick, man.
Like,
I mean,
I get to have my coffee with her every single morning. I'm never rushing out the door. Like 99% of the time, unless I'm traveling to a mastermind or to go film a podcast somewhere or meeting up at the gym, you know what I mean? Like me and my wife still had our coffee this morning, even though we met up. But yeah, that's the amount of time that I got back.
and you still get up at 4 o'clock in the motherfucking morning.
Why not, bro? Why not, dude? It's those daily habits that are gonna keep you grounded. They're gonna keep you motivated and pushing forward. Because I could get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, but you know what happens when I wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning? I feel like a lazy piece of crap, dude.
Yep.
And that's complacency. You have to keep pushing yourself. I did not want to get up at 4 o'clock this morning or yesterday morning or the morning before that. Like, I don't want to get up at 4 in the moment, but I know I'm going to feel so much better if I get the jump on the day. Just like going to the gym in the morning. Tired as hell, like, you know, feeling like crap. My back hurts, my shoulder hurts, my stomach hurts, whatever it is. Maybe I should skip today. I still hit the gym, dude, 5-6 days a week, even if I don't feel like it, even on leg day. But I know every single time I walk out that door, I'm like, I'm so glad I came. Yeah. You have to maintain those, bro. And a lot of guys, they don't have the foundation, right? So they get into business. Let's say they make a bunch of money doing whatever kind of business, but they don't have that strong foundation of no alcohol, disciplined eating, training, taking care of themselves, self-development, listening to the right podcasts and books, and like furthering their education, working on their marriage, like implementing new habits as a parent as your kids get older so that you can be a better parent to them. Like, these guys don't have those foundational things, which is why, you know, money isn't everything. You have these guys that are like big dick business guys that end up killing themselves, getting DUIs, cheating on their spouses. They're doing cocaine at business meetings or masterminds or retreats or whatever. Yeah. Like, they're getting hookers when they go in their big box, whatever, to watch the Super Bowl that they got invited to from their bid. Like, without the proper foundation, other areas of your life are going to deteriorate, whether you have the money or not.
Yeah.
And then there's guys that I know that don't have a lot of money that have that proper foundation, and opportunities come their way because of how they carry themselves as a man.
And it's not luck.
It's not luck, bro. It's not. Look at, dude, I mean, Alec is a perfect example, bro. Of like, he worked at the same place for like 14 years, 15 years. He finally said, let me start taking this seriously. And he did move up. Like, he got on the news. He was going to like their trade shows. He got the highest managerial position. But the money wasn't there.
Yeah.
But when he started taking care of himself, and he got off the antidepressants, the anti-anxiety meds, he got sober for reals, he lost 75 pounds. He's like, bro, I'm capable of so much more.
Yeah.
And that dude 10x'd his income. And he was spending so much time away from his wife and kids because he was working the 12-hour night shift that now he gets to be with his wife and kid every single day.
Yeah, dude.
One of the craziest stories from yesterday, truthfully. Like, amazing testimonial.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's gonna crush it, bro. He's gonna absolutely crush. But
and people hate still.
Fuck him. Sorry, not really. But yeah, dude. Even if I wake up past like 6 o'clock, I feel guilty. And that's a good fucking feeling to have, that I have my own personal accountability. Like, my conscience tells me I'm a piece of shit. If you wake up at 9 o'clock and you're just rolling out of bed and you have just, man, we gotta go grocery shopping today, just chill out. Like, I'm not hating on catching up on sleep and things like that. Everybody needs a little R&R once in a while, but if you do that consistently and you're trying to make something of yourself, or you say all these things, everybody says they want more, right? But are you really willing to do the hard work that it takes to get there, right? Because as you can see, perfect example, dude gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're getting up at 9 o'clock. He now has 5 hours on you from the day. He's now 35 hours ahead of you for the entire week, and that compounds. I mean, we're talking thousands of hours ahead of you. You want to talk about professional athletes, right? Hours in the gym. Everybody talks about Kobe Bryant, how he was just a psychotic individual, like the closest thing to a killer instinct than Michael Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. But that's because he spent hours and hours and hours on his craft, just almost to a psychotic level. But if you really, truly want to be great and you want to change your life as bad as you say you do and you tell everyone about it, you have to be willing to put in that work, and you have to be willing to make sacrifices. And that includes not hitting the snooze button for 2.5 hours, because I used to do that all the fucking time, and it's awful. And I promise you, your wife is going to be pissed when she wakes up.
100%.
Because she loses sleep when you keep hitting snooze, snooze.
But I've
turn
seen
your goddamn phone off.
I've seen marriages almost fall apart over just sleeping in and small choices like video games or golf or I'm going to do this instead of that. And it's usually this being video games, TV, sports, sleeping in versus helping with the kids, taking care of her, asking how are you doing. But to touch on what you were saying about the sports thing, losers don't practice. Amateurs practice until they get it right. Pros practice until they can't get it wrong.
That's deep, bro.
I mean, and that takes work, bro. That takes hours.
Deep.
That takes reps.
Yeah.
Like Jim Rohn said, success is not about doing 4,000 different things. Success is doing 6 or 7 things 4,000 times on repeat. And talking about the foundation, the simplicity, and every time I say it, I always like to preface with, "Oh, I know it sounds cliche, but it's so true, and it will always be true." Training every day, tracking your macros, being intentional with your mindset, like getting up early. Those are the things that over time will compound and change you as a man. They're going to fix your discipline problem. They're going to fix your consistency problem. You're going to be more accountable to yourself, because you're going to realize, when I track my macros and train, I feel really good. But when I eat a burrito and I sleep in, I feel like a piece of crap. And people know this. It's very simple. So I went to the gym and I ate clean for a week. I felt amazing. It was the best week I ever had. Well, great. Why'd you stop?
That's always crazy.
But if you can just stick to it over a long period of time and build that foundation, then, like I touched on yesterday, you will recognize opportunities when they come your way. That's the biggest thing for most people, is either they're not ready for the opportunity, or the opportunity slapped them in the face, but they weren't the man they needed to be to recognize that opportunity and capitalize on it.
And you want to be hyper prepared, right? Because when that opportunity comes and you're not prepared, that's almost a worse feeling to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's almost worse.
Or it passes you by and they don't even see it. They don't even recognize it. But yeah, Myron Golden says, I think Abraham Lincoln said, "I'm going to prepare because perhaps one day my time will come." Myron Golden took it and twisted it, and I love this. He said, "I'm going to prepare because my time is coming, whether I'm ready or not, and I want to be ready when it comes." Bars. We could just end right there.
That's it, dude.
No, but it's true, man. That basic, simple foundation that we teach has changed firefighters, paramedics, cops, construction workers, stay-at-home moms, superintendents, foremen, real estate agents, investors, heavy-hitting businessmen. Like, I've worked with all these people. You know, everybody needs the same basics. Just like we all got the same 24 hours in a day. We all eat food. We all need sleep. We all need to exercise our bodies. Like, nobody's above that. Alcohol's poison, no matter who you are. No matter what quantity you consume it in. I'm not saying you have to be sober, but just remember, like, you have a choice to make there. What's the ROI on this decision that I'm making? If I'm choosing to go drink beers with the boys, is that a high-yielding ROI situation? ROI is return on investment. Are you going to get a return on the time invested doing that? Or should you go to the gym by yourself and have a protein shake afterwards? That's going to have a way higher return than beers with the boys.
It's almost like a simple decision, right? Of like golf, for example, you brought that up. I like golfing, but what I'll do is the local course near my house, 6, 7 a.m. tee times, I'm back home by 8:30, 9 o'clock.
There you go.
Instead of golfing at 11, and then you got your boys there with you, there's already a ton of people on the course, so now you're backed up all day. Then you guys get fucking hammered, and you come home a total slop, and your wife's pissed off because she's been dealing with the kids all day, and you come home drunk, pass out on the couch, fall asleep, wake up, and watch football for the rest of the evening. Like, not much value, man. I'm sorry. That kind of life does not appease to me.
Yeah. Not much value as a man. A provider, a protector, a companion. Like, me and my wife are each other's best freaking friends.
Yeah.
Like, if we need cilantro, we will pack the kids in the car and go to the grocery store together and hold hands the whole time.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to like send one of us
Yeah.
and be apart from each other. We've
Yeah.
been married for 8 years. Like, we have to be together.
Yeah.
And I get that some people need their space, but do it early, do it before the kids get up. Like that's why I will go to the gym early in the morning on a Saturday still, so I can get home before the kids wake up or they've been awake for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or if I'm going to go ride my Harley, I make sure that she's set up with her sister, her mom, or something.
Yeah.
Or I'll go early in the morning and be back by lunch or something, but then I make sure she's getting her hair done, she's getting her nails done. Because there's so many dudes that'll go and like play golf or go fishing, and then their wife wants to like get their nails done or get their hair done. And they're like, well, we don't have money for that. You're just going to leave me here with the kids? What am I supposed to do with them? What am I supposed to feed them? God dang, dude. Like,
deadbeat.
And then you know what happens, bro? You know what happens? There's distance created, and she's craving something, and she's going to go and find it.
Yep.
And happy spouses don't cheat.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. Most of the time when I hear about divorce stories and the dudes claim that they never saw it coming and that, you know, she worked me over, she took half of everything, blah, 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 blah. Were you doing everything possible to hold your marriage together, but also to cater to your wife as well? Because that doesn't mean that you have to be a simp or bend over backwards for your wife, but you need to do things together as a couple. And I think a lot of times people get really complacent and they get away from what your wife fell in love with you with in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Were you a stud? Were you buying her flowers? Were you writing her letters? Were you spending more time with her? Were you being more romantic and like taking a little bit of time instead of just whipping it out? And you know what I mean? Like, most people start that way, and nobody finishes that way. You know? And I have another question. We don't have to go into the weeds on this, but like, say I do bend over backwards for my lady.
It's not a problem.
Would that make me a simp?
Nope.
Or am I just trying to take care of the most valuable person in my life?
Exactly. You're with your spouse forever.
I got 3 kids. They're going to be with me for 10% of my life, maybe. Not a long time in the scheme of things.
Yep.
My spouse, my partner, she's going to be with me forever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure that, first and foremost, is the best relationship that I have.
Yeah.
And I want to come in being the stud that she should have had when she first married me that I wasn't. I wasn't ripped. I want to be ripped. I want to make so much freaking money that if anything happens to me, guess what? Her standards are now so high, so elevated. She told me this the other day. She's like, you set the bar so high. She's like, I freaking always hoped nothing happened to you. She's like, I really hope nothing happened to you because the pool of eligible men that could ever replace you, which nobody could, she's like, you made it really, really small.
That's so funny.
If you're just some, beer drinking, football watching, like sleeping in, sloppy slob dude with no money, guess what? The world's her oyster, bro. Even when you're married.
Yeah.
Like anybody else is going to be appealing to her. But if you're a high level individual that's got bread, you got abs, you got standards, you hold yourself accountable, like stoic with your kids, you're not flying off the handle, you're not violent, you're not yelling at her, you're not berating her, you're not belittling her. All these things that I see, guess what, dude? The pool of availability for eligible people, if anything were to happen to you, just got way small.
Yep.
Set the bar high, gentlemen.
Absolutely. But yeah, I'll walk that one back. I don't mean bending over backwards or being a simp in a like an everyday instance. You know, like I think that there's no problem with that at all because, like you said, man, like who you decide to shack up with and spend the rest of your life with, like you guys have to grow together. And if you stop growing, then she's going to see no reason to grow either, and she's slowly going to distance herself away from you. You know, and like bending over backwards once in a while to do things. The only reason I don't like the bending over backwards thing is because I feel like a lot of people use that, especially my friends have seen it in marriages, where they use that as an excuse or a cop-out, being like, I've been coming up short in every other aspect of my life, so now I'm just going to go out of my way, I'm going to book a vacation, and then I'm going to get her some flowers, and hopefully everything's fine. You know, it's all good. And you're already so behind the ball at that point, dude, that like...
That's
what
not
I mean?
bending over backwards, that's backpedaling.
Yeah, so like... It's,
but there is a culture out there that says like, basically, if you're a man for your woman, like you're just a simp.
I don't like that word.
You're whipped.
Yeah. I've seen that though. That is crazy. There's some that are just getting walked all over.
Well, but you know why? Because they're not men and they don't make decisions. Well,
Exactly.
I have to ask my wife and let me see if my wife would let me and this, that, and the other thing.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about asking your wife for permission.
So, I make big decisions with my wife.
Yes.
Now, most people don't. They don't do it with. They just say, "What do you think, babe?" You know? And with no proven track record of sticking to anything that they said that they're going to do, right? So I've seen it before with guys. They're like, "Hey, we'll use a program as an example. Hey, I want to get on this fitness program so that I can be the man that I'm supposed to be for my wife." And you're like, "All right, bro, it's going to cost some money to make sure that you pay attention and that I am compensated enough to where I'm going to be able to fulfill for you and have the time to do that. Because if I don't charge enough, then to get enough money to live, I'm going to have to work with so many people that you're not going to get very much of my time, probably not going to get a very good result, right? So it's going to cost some money." And the guy goes, "Oh, well, let me ask my wife." Ask her for what? For permission or approval? Like, my wife handles the finances. Really? I don't think that's appropriate. I think you guys should handle the finances together. Yep. Most of the time, that's probably a lie. Although I do think that there's a large portion of men out there that really don't have anything to do with the finances. They just go out there and labor away and sweat, and then their wife can pay all the bills because he's too lazy to do it and pay attention to budgeting so that she can be like, "Hey, you need to stop spending over here because you spend so much over here that you're going to run us dry because you're not paying attention." Yeah. But no, so I'll kind of give my piece. I make big decisions with my wife. However, she is a good woman. We have a relationship that's based in faith, and she understands her role, and I understand my role. I'm a leader, okay? I'm always going to talk to her about how she feels about certain things, and we go over pros and cons, this, that, and the third. But when I see something that's going to benefit our family, and that's a decision that I am going to make, and it's going to be on me to fulfill it, whether she wants it or not necessarily, I'm going to make that decision. And then she will submit to that decision. She will submit to my leadership, and then it's on me to fulfill.
Yep.
Now, I have a background and a track record of sticking to what I say I'm going to stick to, right? So I've developed that trust. Yep. But there's other decisions that are fully made between the two of us, and then there's some decisions that I've made on my own, and I said, this is how it's going to be, and she submitted to that and said, okay. One of them being quitting my job. One of them being getting involved with this coaching thing and hiring my first mentor. One of them being paying to go to my first mastermind. All of those decisions have worked out and paid off, but if I asked my wife's permission because of human nature and psychology and her growing up the way that she grew up, the answer to all of those things, if I just blatantly asked her, would have been no. Don't spend money to go to the mastermind. It's money that we don't have. Don't pay money for that mentor. What if it doesn't work out? And it's money that we don't have. Don't quit your job. What if something happens? I'm afraid of this, and I've never had anybody in my family quit their job. Like, that sounds crazy. Right?
Yeah. And I think too, like any type of self-development, right, it needs to be worded correctly as well. So if you do go ask your wife, I don't think it's asking for permission. I think it needs to be navigated a little bit differently. Like, hey, babe, let's sit down. I need to talk to you. Okay, what's going on? I've been slipping up lately. I haven't been the husband, the father, the leader of the household that I should be. You know, I've been missing the mark in areas of our marriage, and, you know, I want to step up and I want to do something for myself that's going to benefit both of us. I want to do this program. You know, Taylor or Scott, they have this opportunity. You know, I want to get in shape. I want to get around a community of people that are trying to better themselves, and it's going to cost a little bit of money, but because I'm going to be paying, it's going to naturally hold me more accountable, and it's going to be pressure because I'm now telling you about it, and I know that you're going to want me to see me follow through with it. Mm-hmm. And I think if you word it that way and you make these decisions together, I think that's what you're talking about as well, is like you can tackle these opportunities together, and you know, if you follow through with it, man, you're 10xing your marriage, your life, you know, everything in it is going to benefit. So I don't know. I never liked I need to talk to my wife, because it just seems like an easy cop out. It seems like hey honey, I was thinking about, you know, spending X amount of money just to get a workout plan. Is that cool? Fuck no.
What do you think?
Yeah. Fuck no.
What's your track record show? You haven't stuck to anything. She's gonna say no.
Exactly, she is. So
you don't. So to me, for that, it's you don't ask for permission. You basically just notify, hey, I'm planning to do this. Yeah. Yeah. Very very easy cop out. A lot of times, we hear it on calls and stuff. I think it's a lie.
it is a lie.
But I have seen, though, there's a lot of men that don't wear any type of pants in the relationship, and they would rather just put the decision on their wife that already has decision fatigue from dealing with his baby ass and the kids and everything else that she has to deal with in her life. And you just go, oh, what do you think? Stupid. Yeah. But there was a mentor that I signed up with, paid probably the most amount of money I've ever paid in one place for self-development, and I didn't ask her at all. She didn't even know I was getting on the call, and I just did it, and I told her about it. She wasn't super happy, but guess what? I'm at where I'm at today, and it helped a lot. So when it comes to a program or something like that, mentorship, mastermind, whatever it is, going ahead and just wearing the pants and saying, hey, I'm the man, I make the money, I'm gonna do this, I wanna change for you, watch me. That's a stronger decision. Yeah. And the reason I don't like let me talk to my wife a lot of times is because I've seen the dynamic in a lot of marriages and how horrendous it is, and I know how bad the track record is, and I'm like, it's just a kiss of death, bro. You guys don't actually make big decisions together. You just allow her to shoot you down, and then you go, well, I couldn't. My wife said I couldn't do it, so guess I'll just stay the same.
It kills me inside slowly every time that happens too, because I know that these dudes are hurting, man, and they're reaching out because they want help.
What Manning said yesterday, so Manning runs a sales agency, right? And he places closers in people's businesses that sell fitness coaching. And one of his girls didn't close a deal, which to a lot of people would be like, oh, you just didn't make the money. But this guy, in his infinite 25 years of wisdom, he's a youngster, but he's smart. Yeah. He said, you just signed that guy's death warrant. Did you know that? Yeah. Because only 1% of people that get off the call, that initial call, and don't buy will actually either get on another one or make those changes themselves. Right. So he's got a 90% chance now of staying exactly the same for the rest of his life. He reached out for help. That was a cry for help and for change. And you could not, the way that it works is not to convince somebody or to persuade somebody. It's to ask the right questions that reveals in their head all the reasons why they're on that call, and you allow them, you give them permission to make that hard decision themselves, because they have to be the one that makes it. You can't force anybody into it. They wouldn't be a good client anyway. But when he said you signed that guy's death warrant by not getting him to commit to a program that's going to change his life, I was like, wow, that is
It was heavy,
deep,
dude.
bro.
It was heavy. It was super heavy.
And it's not about the money.
It's not, man.
He has to pay attention.
Yeah.
We have to receive compensation so that, yeah, it's going to, what's the word? Not persuade, but it's going to get us to deliver on it, right? Because we're like, okay, like we got money from somebody. Now we're accountable to them to get them the result.
The accountability goes both ways.
Exactly. But with no money in either direction, that's why I always laugh when guys are like, I'm not like these other like fitness influencer guys. I'm going to be helping people for free. Just DM me meal plans, macro. You know how long those dudes last? 2 weeks to a month. You know how many people they help? Because free programs make zero changes for anybody. Yep. I always laugh when I see that. I'm like, good job, bro. Talk to me in a month.
Well, I think most guys that are doing that too, it's a sneaky way to get people on the back end. And I just come from like a culture of like being honest and you know, if you are providing a service, you know, you need to uphold that service and that standard that needs to be there, and you need to provide value. And, you know, like you said, dude, it affects so many more people than just the individual, right? We're talking wives, kids, family members, bosses. Everybody is getting affected if you can actually turn this person in the right direction, right? Because we're offering a solution to issues that most of us have been through ourselves or somebody directly closest to us. That's why most of us got into this, right? Is because we've seen the other side. And like, I'm never fucking going back that way ever again. And now I've made it over here, and I want to get as many people as possible over here with me because it is so good. The grass is so much fucking greener on this side of life. Like faith, sobriety, working out, health and wellness.
Showing up.
Life is just better when you're an accountable man. You're an accountable individual. Like, I don't know, man.
Something that I talked about on Saturday that you missed, and this is a story that I've shared one time, like to a camera lens or a group of people. When I was 19 and 20 years old, I was a framer, and we were framing in Fallbrook, high-end custom homes, Rancho Santa Fe, La Jolla, the contractor that I was working for. And he hired a guy after I worked for him, and I'm not going to put his name out there, but we'll call him Joe. He hired Joe. And Joe shows up, big old red beard, bandana, right, shorts, no shirt on, like tattoos, always work with no shirt. And I'm like, I like that guy. What's up, Joe? I'm Taylor. He's like, awesome, bro. Let's go to town. And like, we started working together, and we developed a bond super quick. He would pick me up in the morning. We would carpool together. He would bring me, his wife would make these little breakfast burritos, and she'd always pack like 30 of them in a bag, and he'd like share his breakfast with me. He always had a cooler full of Cokes because he was trying to reduce his beer consumption, so he would drink like 12 Cokes a day or 6 Cokes a day. We're talking like full unleaded, you know, old school. But bro, like such a bond, dude. Like we would seriously sheet roofs like twice as fast as anybody else because we just had a flow. We were always getting down, just like working our asses off, shirtless, tall socks. We wouldn't use ladders to get up on the roof. We would just climb the studs like monkeys. Like our boss was like, you boys are idiots, freaking monkeys. Like get the damn ladder. He was always pissed. Hanging beams, like we'd have the crane like bringing in beams, and both of us at the same time just pop, pop. We'd grab it with our hammer claw, pull it into place, slam it, boom. We're putting the nails in, like such a flow. And we developed a good relationship. And if work got slow, we would drive around. We would drive around Duluth and La Jolla, like looking for like raw framing, raw lumber. We would go onto the job, and like stepbrothers, we'd be like, yeah, we're basically interviewing as a team today. Like if you're gonna hire one of us, you gotta hire both of us because we come as a package. And we got work that way. And we didn't work together for years and years, but we worked together for a good amount of time, had a really good relationship, always carpooling with each other. But on the way home from work, he would drink beer, driving home, right? And then he would go home and he would drink beer a lot. And he was in a lot of debt. Now the problem was he would go and do side jobs after work and on the weekends, and he would buy tools to be able to perform these certain jobs. He would buy materials, and then people being the way that they are, they wouldn't pay him sometimes. And he was never the type of guy that would go after him. He's like, bro, he's like, some people suck. And he's like, but shoot, like, look at how much debt I'm in because of that. Like, because they didn't pay me for this job. And I remember working with him on a job kind of towards the end. His dad was a contractor as well. And I saw the relationship that they had together.
Yeah.
And he had worked with his dad for a long time before I had met him and stuff like that. Insane. I'm like, wow, this is like the craziest father-son bond that I've seen. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as time went on, like, he was drinking more beers on the way home from work. And then he would tell me about the DVs that the cops would get called on. You know what I mean? And then guns getting drawn on both sides. And then he'd spend a couple days gone. You know what I mean? And it kind of was getting worse and worse. And he would complain more and more about these people not paying and his truck breaking down, and he'd have to shell out to fix that and just racking up this debt. And I could tell how much it was bothering him. And I would try and talk to him. I'd try and talk to him about the Lord, and that would very much get shut down quick. Yep. I was like, that's a bummer. But I went on to grading. He was still doing his thing. We would meet up a couple times in the local grocery store parking lot and have a beer if we were both getting off work at the same time. And then it was a couple years later, and I knew that it was getting worse, but it was a couple years later. We had kind of lost touch at that point, and I was sitting on the couch like this with my wife at her parents' house right after we got married, and I saw a text pop up on my phone from an unknown number, but it said, "Hey Taylor, this is so-and-so, this is Joe's wife. I just wanted to let you know, ... You know, it gives you a little preview of the text. I looked at my wife and I'm like, Joe's dead. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? No way. I opened the thing up, and sure enough, he committed suicide a couple days before Thanksgiving. Me and the kids are on our own now. I think he had 3 kids and a newborn at the time. And he, side of the road right by his house, shotgun in his mouth, like, left the world over some debt and over some marital problems that I know could have been solved through no more alcohol, self-development, a different perspective on, yes, that seems like a large amount of money, but it's really not in the scheme of things.
Yep.
You're more valuable than that. And the reason that I brought that up at the Person of Value Mastermind is you have to be somebody that you value so that you can be somebody that everybody else values. But you have to be somebody that you value to be able to see that value that you have for everybody else. But one of the reasons we have haters written on our talking points, one of the reasons that I talk about money a lot in the whole realm of self-development, progression, business, finance, health, wealth, and relationships, right? And where the self-development journey and building the foundation can take you,
yeah,
is because I've seen the other side of not seeing yourself as a person of value,
yep,
not making enough money, and 50 to 70% of all marriages end in divorce. And everybody talks about one of the biggest reasons and contributors to that is money. And so I've seen it, bro, and that really affected me.
Yeah.
And over the years being in construction and hearing every single day, these guys are paycheck to paycheck, their cars are breaking down, they can't afford to fix it, like, their wives aren't happy, they're stressed because of money. I saw it happening with my own wife. Like, when my income got tapped when I got into Local 12 and inflation went, whew, she got down to like 90 pounds, like very unhealthy due to stress.
Yep.
And I was stressed, and I still had these bad habits, bad money spending habits, and it was alcohol, right?
Yeah.
So when I finally stepped up, I'm like, what am I doing? I got woken up by a video that I saw on YouTube. I said, that's it. No more alcohol. I'm going to start getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning again. I'm going to train in the morning because it's hard. I'm going to start posting more online because this is like my last ditch effort to start something on the side that's actually going to be profitable and scalable.
Yeah.
So that I can improve my family's life and myself as a person, so I can become more valuable and that I can make more money, so that I don't wind up like these guys that I used to work with, or I don't wind up in a position where I don't value myself, no self-worth, but also so I don't wind up in a bunch of debt or like these financial situations that cause me to do what one of my close homeboys did to himself over some money, and be able to maintain that perspective of abundance, and it's never as bad as it seems, and somebody's got it as bad as it seems for me, somebody's got it worse. You know what I mean? So that was just that was a story that I wanted to be able to share, that I haven't enough, because I don't think a lot of people understand why. They think it's an ego thing, like look at me, but really it's like, no, I've seen the other side of it, and I know the effects of being broke, being in debt, not feeling like you have a future, and not undervaluing yourself, having a low level of self-worth.
Yeah.
And that's why my platform is fitness, nutrition, self-development, growth, and making more bread. Because I know that when you hit on health, wealth, and relationships, and you elevate on all those levels, life gets infinitely better.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, you're living in a way that's honoring him, right? It's pretty fucking cool.
Just calling people up, bro.
That's it.
We all start somewhere. And I always tell people, because they're like, why do you talk shit on guys in the trade? I'm like, I don't.
No, because we all know a Joe or have known a Joe.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, we all started somewhere, bro. Like, I started in a bedroom. It was me, my wife, my 1-year-old daughter, and my wife was pregnant. And we were living in a bedroom at her parents' house, sharing a bathroom with her sister. Like, that's where we started. And I started in the trades. And I learned a lot. It's not about where you start. It's about how and where you finish.
Yep. Fucking love it, bro.
Good deal, man. Good talking.
Absolutely.
Good gym sesh earlier.
Absolutely. Y'all heard it.
So where can they find you?
Yeah, if you guys want to find me, American Made Coaching on Instagram is going to be the easiest way. Hit me up. Even if you got questions about nutrition, workouts, whatever, man. I'm an open book. I don't believe in gatekeeping. I'm not going to charge you for free game, dude. You know, I just want everybody to improve and not have to go through some of the experiences that we've seen from close friends and family. And it's super important to me. I'm super passionate about this. So if you want to elevate and get to that next level, or you're just feeling stuck in a rut, bro, I do one-on-one coaching as well. And, you know, I'm super passionate about it. So hit me up, dude. Let's go to work.
Hell yeah. And I am Taylor.Thrasher on YouTube, which is probably where you're watching this, or Taylor.Thrasher.fit on Instagram. And I have a similar type of program, and we're just all about helping people, because I want to be surrounded by savages. I want to turn every single person in the world into a savage, because I know how much better the world would be if we all took care of ourselves on the highest level possible and valued ourselves and others the way that they need to be valued.
Cheers, brother.
Right on.